My name is Esther. I was not born into royalty. I was an ordinary girl from a quiet home, raised by my cousin Mordecai after my parents passed away. He was a kind man, wise and patient. He taught me to love God, to be gentle, and to have courage even when life felt unfair. We didn't have much, but we had peace. I loved waking up to the smell of fresh bread, hearing children laugh in the streets, and watching the sun fall over the rooftops. Sometimes I dreamed of a simple life, a home, a family, and peace. I never dreamed of a crown. But one day, messengers came through the city, shouting that the king I was searching for a new queen. Many beautiful young women were taken to the palace, and before I could understand what was happening, my life changed too. I was chosen. I remember standing at the gates of the royal court, my heart beating fast. The walls were high, gold and marble everywhere, but inside I felt small. I missed Mordecai. I missed my home. I whispered to myself, God, please don't leave me here alone. The days in the palace were long. There were rules, lessons, and endless faces watching. But I stayed humble, kind, and quiet, because Mordecai always said, true beauty is not in the crown on your head, but in the heart that trusts God. Months passed, and when the king saw me, he smiled. He chose me. I became Queen Esther. Everyone celebrated. But I didn't feel like a queen. I still felt like the girl from the small house, the one who prayed under the stars. Then one day I heard something that froze my heart. A man named Haman had convinced the king to destroy all my people. Every man, woman, and child gone. I felt my body go weak. My hands shook. My heart screamed, why God? Why me? Mordecai sent me a message. You must speak to the king. He said you are the only one who can save us. Fear filled me. My voice trembled as I replied, if I go to the king without being called, I could die. Then Mordecai's words came like a flame in my heart. Who knows if you were born for such a time as this? That night I could not sleep. I removed my royal jewelry and fell to the floor in tears. I fasted and prayed for 3 days. No food, no water, only whispers to heaven. I said, God, I don't know why you chose me, but I will trust you. Give me courage to do what is right, even if I am afraid. When the third morning came, I stood by my window and watched the sunrise. The sky was golden, full of light. I took a deep breath and said, I will go even if I die. I will not stay silent. My journey began not in power, but in surrender, because real courage begins when fear meets faith. The third morning came. I looked out from my window and the city was silent. Even the wind felt still. I could hear my own heartbeat. Slow and heavy, I put on my royal robe. It shimmered with gold, but my heart was trembling. I touched my chest and whispered, God, I am afraid, but I will not hide. Walk with me. The guards opened the great doors of the palace. The floor shone like fire. The king sat on his high throne, his crown bright as the sun. Every step I took felt heavier than the last. No one dared to look up. Everyone knew what could happen if I came uninvited. My legs felt weak. My hands shook. I wanted to run, but I remembered Mordecai's words. Who knows if you were born for this moment? I walked forward. The king's eyes met mine. He said nothing. My breath stopped. I thought my heart would break. Then his hand moved. He lifted the golden scepter. The whole room gasped. I felt my knees give out, tears flooding my eyes. God had heard me. I touched the scepter with trembling hands. The king smiled and said, my queen, what do you desire? Even half my kingdom will be yours. I could barely speak, but I said softly, my king, come to a feast. I have prepared you and Haman. He nodded, and I left the throne room with shaking hands. But a fire began to grow in my heart. That night I couldn't sleep. I prayed and prayed again. God, give me words when my fear tries to silence me. The next day, during the feast, the king looked at me and said, my queen, tell me what troubles your heart. I looked down. I could hear my own voice tremble as I said, my people are in danger. Someone wishes to destroy them. The king frowned. Who would dare? I turned my head toward Haman. His smile vanished. It is him, I said. The room froze. The king's anger rose like a storm before the sunset. That day, Haman's plan was destroyed. When the news spread, my people wept with joy. The dark clouds were gone. The sound of crying turned into songs of praise. That night I fell on my knees in my chamber. I lifted my hands and cried, thank you, Lord. You were there in my silence. You were there in my fear. You never left me. And I understood something I will never forget. Courage does not mean we have no fear. It means we walk forward even when fear is heavy. Faith does not mean we always see the way. It means we take the step and trust that God will make the light appear. So to you, the one listening, maybe your heart is trembling like mine once did. Maybe you are waiting, afraid to move. But listen to me, you are stronger than you think. Maybe this is your moment too. Believe, stand, and don't give up. Because sometimes God hides your strength in your fear, and when the time comes, that strength will rise. Just like the maybe today you feel like Esther did, small, tired, and scared of what's next. Maybe your dreams look too far away, your prayers unanswered, your heart heavy. But listen to me, you are not forgotten. God is still writing your story. He is using every tear, every delay, every heartbreak not to break you, but to prepare you. He is building strength in your silence, faith in your pain, and purpose in your waiting. So when you feel like giving up, remember Esther. Remember how one step of courage changed everything. She walked trembling into the palace, but she walked out carrying victory for her people. That same strength lives in you. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. You were created for this moment, to rise, to shine, to believe again, even when the world says it's impossible. God whispers, I am still here, and keep praying. Keep believing, because the same God who lifted Esther in her darkest night is still lifting hearts today, including yours. And when your miracle finally comes, you'll look back and realize that every moment of pain had a purpose. Be strong, have faith, never stop believing, because sometimes the smallest act of faith changes the biggest story. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe. It means so much to me. And together we can share stories of hope, courage, and faith with the world.